All right, so I got some questions for you, Mr. Senpai. We're talking about a lot of things. We're also focusing on the latest update too. But out of everything, what do you think the biggest problem with Sandstorm is right now?
I think the biggest issue after playing for 2,000 plus hours is that the updates constantly break something in the game, whether it's a feature, adds a new bug, they take something away, because they read something in the Steam forums, and I guess that they use something that collects data that they can go to and just point at what the top comment or the top word is in something, and then they investigate it, because it doesn't really feel like um, when they update things they're really listening to the community.
All right, yeah. Uh, which kind of fits in well with this next question, which is, do you think the developers care about keeping the current community happy rather than trying to satisfy the new players
They're
or bring in new
definitely, oh sorry,
players?
go ahead. They're I can see where they're trying to bring in new players. I understand that they're trying to grow the player base, or put new eyes on the game, grow the community, but they're definitely not listening to the core player base.
Yeah, like as if they kind of got us here and now they just abandoned us. What is your favorite addition to the game in the last update? That being Operation Glasshouse update.
I liked the weapons they brought in this time. The KSG and the KS-23 are both amazing.
All right, cool. What is your least favorite addition to the game in the last update?
um, well, specifically the Operation Glasshouse or the last few updates, because I've got notes.
Glasshouse. Well,
Glasshouse,
yeah, yeah, we'll start with
spawn
that.
protection.
Yeah, yep, that's what everyone's been
Sorry.
saying. But if you've got
Yes.
something to say about the other ones, then go ahead.
So, I don't know if it was this one or the one before this one, but I think it was when they nerfed Molotov damage. Like, I
Mm,
understand that people that play co-op go and they get killed by the AI with the Molotov instantaneously because it's just a one-hit kill.
yeah,
And that can be frustrating, but at the same time, I guess they aren't investigating the problem, which is the AI.
yeah,
So instead of fixing the AI for the player base, they're going to nerf a weapon because that's an easier fix than going in and I guess trying to rewrite code or something like that.
yeah,
Um, but the Molotov nerf damage is frustrating, which kind of ties into my next thing with I've noticed for each update something changes with explosives. So the hitboxes or the splash damage, the radius at which the explosion kills someone. You can kill people on certain maps through walls now with a grenade, like on Tideway. Inside the Charlie firefight objective, that house, if you throw a grenade upstairs and you're in the kitchen, and it lands in the living room, or if you're in the basement, it'll kill you no matter what. But there are certain times where you're laying down and a grenade lands in front of somebody and there's an invisible box or something like that that'll save somebody. It just is so inconsistent.
Just
yeah,
in that last game we played, I threw a nade round the corner onto a guy who was prone on Ministry. There was nothing there to stop the explosion, and I came around the corner. He's still alive. I couldn't believe it. Weep saw it. It's retarded.
yeah. I forgot about the
Indeed.
the grenade issue that seems to have come up in the last update. Which I mean that kind of ties into this next one, but I guess there might be some more answers to this question. Did you notice any bugs after the latest update?
Um, Certain optics don't have reticles. I have floaty hands. Sometimes when I cycle through weapons, I don't have any weapons, and then I get killed. There's Oh my gosh, there's a lot of bugs. I can hear the enemy team comms almost
Oh
at all
yeah, that's
times.
been for a while.
Well, right, no, it was in the last update too, but it wasn't nearly as bad as it is this one.
Yeah, you think it's gotten worse?
It's gotten
Yeah.
way worse.
Yeah.
The hot mic bug where someone's mic
Oh,
will just
yeah.
constantly be on and there's nothing they
That's a
can do
bad
about it.
one. That's a real bad
Yeah.
one. Would you? I did ask the other ones this question, but like, well, although RJ kind of mentioned it in a way, would you rather they hadn't really touched if you had to sacrifice the new content that they've added with the past, I don't know, the updates over the last 2 years, if you had to sacrifice the new content, would you take that sacrifice just so you don't have to deal with all the bugs and shit that they've added in? Well, not added
Absolutely.
intentionally, but that have found their way into the game.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If I could go back to, I think it was 1.6 or 1.7 update, I would take that over whatever the fuck it is they got.
Because I was playing it like
Or, excuse my
around.
language.
Yeah, we'll edit that out. We'll beep it. I think it was 2019 or something. Seemed like a good time to be playing it. I think that's when I started playing it. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe 2018. I don't remember if it was around then. But 2019, I was definitely playing it. And I didn't really have many issues with it. Let's see here. What else we got? Yeah. Oh, this is a good one. What are your thoughts on the current reporting system?
It used to be that you could, tab and go over someone's name, and there's a list of functions to go through their profile or whatever. But now, for whatever reason, it just doesn't work. I don't know if it worked before. I've always gone through the website to report people. There were times where I would use it in game, but I remember being told, and this is way, way, way back, I'm talking the beta, that it was broken, so I just stopped using it.
Oh, it's been busted that long. Because RJ said that Bravo, the developer, was speaking to him, and he said that, well, he said not necessarily that it doesn't work, but that they need video proof, and that you're not going to get that video proof while you're playing the game.
Now you have to submit video proof along with your claim, and it's just, I mean, like, I get it. That makes sense to some extent, but
nobody wants to do that shit while they're playing the game. And the final question is, do you think the developers play the game?
I don't actually see the devs playing. I don't see them interacting nearly as much as they did, like a year ago, a year and a half ago. Prior to that, I mean, I used to see a couple of some of the testers come in, and I guess they'd be looking for tick rate or just kind of exploring the update that they put out. But now I don't ever see them, and they just kind of feels like they lazily push stuff out as an afterthought. I guess they have stuff going on, but at the same time, they're leaving this game to die. That's what it feels like. It feels like they just kind of are trying to keep it alive so they can bring in a little bit more income to support their next project or something like that.
Yeah, King of Weebs mentioned, I believe it was King of Weebs, said that, they work on the game all day. They probably don't feel like playing it afterwards, but do you think that they should be playing the game? And
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, they should have a couple of people playing the game. I mean, the community manager, like, I forget who they hired on, should be hosting events, communicating with people.
Having pride in their work too, don't you think?
Exactly. I mean, being able to talk about problems in the game and acknowledge them, see them firsthand, so that they can go in and debug and do the hot fixes whenever necessary.
Yeah, I should have also asked everyone else this. Do you think there's an issue with communication between the developers and the community?
I mean, yeah, there is an issue, because whenever there's an issue or something happens, they don't typically respond. We're typically left in the dark, and they'll say something as an afterthought. Again, that's what it feels like. I could be very wrong, but again, somebody that's played the game as much as I do, and for someone who continues to support it, it feels like they just don't respond, or they don't want to.
Yeah, I've mainly just browsed the Steam forums. I don't use like Twitter or Reddit or any of that stuff, but I haven't really seen them replying to any issues on the Steam forums. And I have seen them put out those surveys every now and then, which has a lot of questions, but which I guess is good. But I feel like they need someone on the Steam forum just answering a question every now and then.
Well, again, the community manager's job is that,
Yeah,
and it doesn't
yeah.
really feel like he's very invested in this. And granted, with the departure of some of the heads that were spearheading this game, I guess I get it, because you're kind of picking up someone else's thing and trying to do something with it, but I guess they don't know what the direction it is that they want to take, and they're, I don't know. Again, it feels like an afterthought to them.
All right. Well, thanks for your time, Senpai.